Welcome to Spotlight Gulf Coast, a weekly showcase of people and events across South Mississippi. Spotlight Gulf Coast is partnered with William Carey University and sponsored by the IP Casino Resort and Spa, Mississippi Power Company, Ray Brandt Auto Group, and the Butch Ostelet Foundation.
Hi everyone, this is Todd Trenchard, Executive Director of the Baco Foundation of South Mississippi, welcoming you to another segment of Spotlight Gulf Coast, right here on WXXV. Each week we're coming into your living room talking about what's going on all across South Mississippi, and we want to thank our sponsors for this generous opportunity. Well, to kick off today's show, we've got Deven Matthews, of course, with the YMCA, and Deven, I think you were on about a year ago.
Yes, sir, I was.
So we were talking about the humanitarian banquet, which has, obviously become one of the staple events of the Mississippi Gulf Coast, always right around the second week of November. And I just learned a few things as we were talking. So let's get right into that. You said it was the 14th year. I remember being at the first one, and we might have to send out a little thing. Who was at the first one at this? And raise your hand. But it has a rich history, and it really is sort of the award that you go out and you find that one person that's made a difference.
Yeah, and that's definitely what you want to do. So the YMCA is enshrined in the community. Mm-hmm. So we want to find people who have that same heart. And that's where we go with our humanitarian award. So this year we selected Ted Hearn, who is 91 years old, but he has not stopped working for his community.
Right.
He has built, homeless shelters, cold winter shelters. He started the Clean and Fresh program where homeless people can come in and wash their clothes. And so seeing those kind of things that he's put into practice and how they're still going has meant a lot to his community, has meant a lot to us. So we wanted to make sure that we can award him with something.
I know that, the Y's sort of mission is what you just described as that person. And it doesn't have to be somebody that you would normally think is just YMCA driven. You go outside of that box. And when I first saw Ted's name, first thing I thought, Feed My Sheep, Salvation Army. I've done things with him over the years. And you were talking about how Ted got his local church involved.
Right.
And that, that of they're now going to come support him. Those type people that have given their entire lives, to make it a better community do need to be recognized.
Definitely.
And that's what this whole thing was set up when we originally started this, to honor John Blossman. I mean, what a great man that, I remember the day I met him at Special Olympics. He's out on the bench crying. And I went out there, I was tearing up because, of what we were seeing, and he introduced himself. We became friends, until he passed away. But I watched what he did selfishly behind the scene. It was never about him. It was, how he can make a better community. And Ted's done that same thing.
Yes, he does. So when you bring up church, he just retired as a Sunday school teacher, which he did for 70 years at his church.
Wow.
So that's just, something that's amazing to see. He's committed, he's dedicated to not only his community, but his family, his friends, and ensuring that, everybody has a better place when they see him, and he never leaves any stone unturned.
Now, let's talk about the event because it is in a couple weeks. It's always right around, I always say the Marine Corps birthday, which is, I think, November 10th or 11th. This year it's going to be different. It's on a Friday night.
Yes, sir.
And so let's talk about that and what people can expect.
Yeah, so we'll expect starting around 5 p.m. for our cocktail hour. Doors will open for the event at 6, and the event will promptly start at 6:30. So we will have a silent auction. You'll be able to do our text to give donation, or if you want to donate to certain spots like our swim lessons or youth sports or any of our other programming that we do in the community, you'll be able to do that there as well.
I think that's one of the unique qualities of the Y is that it tries to afford affordable, care, and services for anybody. And a lot of people may not have the means to be able to do that, and you try to find a way to get them engaged.
Right, and that's such a big part of this humanitarian banquet because we don't turn anybody away from membership. So this helps build our scholarship fund, which we helped over 315 families this past year and given out over $220,000 in scholarships for families for membership for our programs, which involve before and after school care, preschool, a membership so they can get healthy. And that's the big thing, is ways to give back to the community. We find them and help them out.
Now, I want to say about the why, it's not just an Ocean Springs organization. It's a coastwide organization. The board is coastwide. It has services coastwide. Y'all have multiple locations.
Yeah, so we have our Ocean Springs location, which is our headquarters, you could say. We have our Tradition branch, which is off of Highway 67 in Biloxi. And then we have 4 before and after school sites. And we're constantly looking to grow and expand. So we've also just expanded into Active Jackson program, which encompasses Van Cleve, St. Martin, and East Central with programming for our seniors, which you don't have to be a Y member to do. You can just go out there and partake in the activities.
Okay, and let's talk how if somebody wanted to attend the bank, what would they do? Where would they get tickets? Or they go online or call the Y? Or?
Yeah, so they can call the Y. We also, you can reach us on our Network for Good link, which is connected to our website, mgcymca.org. And click the link and you'll be able to purchase your tickets or sponsorships there.
Now, one thing that's very important when we have these big events, we put on big events. I always try to tell people, you don't have to wait for an event to put, to help out. I'm sure that y'all are always looking for people to either financial support, volunteer, those type things. But it's a year-round thing. It's not just this one little push.
Definitely, yeah. We need volunteers year-round for everything. It just makes something so much easier, and it helps us get more involved in the community as well, because now we're getting to meet new people. And so you can donate on our website, mgcymca.org. You can also sign up to be a volunteer there or at our front desk.
Okay, and the Y is open pretty much 365 days a year, except for maybe a little holiday here and there. And if Ocean Springs has something going on downtown or something, they may close down an hour early. But what a staple, and it's almost the center of town. I mean, it's, just sort of the flagship of the whole Ocean Springs community is your YMCA. And if you want to meet people, I was just staggered the last time I was in there. It really is the hub of everything.
It truly is. We have the most walk-ins over any government street business in Ocean Springs. Okay. So we see about 800 to 900 people a day. Wow. So just being able to see that community and see people build bonds, because you have so many people who are military from down here or retiring that are looking for that third home. Right. Let us be your third home. Come in, have relationships, have coffee, meet people, and work out as well.
All right. Well, Deven, I appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
Quick, a lot of information there, but look forward to it. That date again?
November 10th.
November 10th, Beau Rivage.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with Michael Sunderman. So don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Joined now by my good friend Michael Sunderman, and of course Michael's on our board of directors of the Baker Foundation of South Mississippi, and has been an integral part of so many things that we've done for. When did you arrive?
94.
94, but when you met me, that second we've been involved.
Yep, about the time we started launching South Mississippi Living, which is like 17 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, we were the cover on the second magazine at M&M Bank.
That's right.
It was like, what in the world? How'd you do that one? Trenchard.
So you know this business. So yeah.
Of course, South Mississippi Living magazine has been such a great partner to the foundation, to me professionally, and vice versa. I mean, we all know, and we built a lot of our careers around people just from the people on our board.
You've been able to introduce me to people all over Jackson County, all over the coast, that have helped us grow our company and launch new magazines. I think in November we'll be launching our 11th magazine, Pascagoula Pride, for the city of Pascagoula. That's going to press on Friday. So
okay. Well, of course, we just finished up our big fashion show, which, again, I know everything about everything. I said it'll last 1 year, and now we're blowing and going, and there's no stopping this thing. So, I was absolutely stunned at the theme and how well it was received. And it's like all the stars align sometimes.
Yeah, the Barbie theme, I scratched my head for a second when I first heard it. But I'm telling you, the guests and the models, everyone loved it. We had like a pink out. All the audience wore pink. Incredible. And then, we had 70-some models and a couple dozen local boutiques participated, sponsorships like crazy. Every table was sold out months in advance. And at the end of the day, we presented a very, very big check.
Yeah, it's and that's what it's all about. It brings the community together, and that's what I've been telling Amanda. You do a lot of work putting on these events, but it also sets the stage for the future. You start gathering supporters from this event, and so what better way than to go back to them? They're very excited about it. So many have contacted us, wanting to have be a part next year.
Absolutely.
And it's just really something that is so unique in that it promotes local people with local retail shops that they shop at. I mean, it's a business, developer. It's a relationship builder.
That's really why it was such a perfect fit for the magazine. We love to promote shopping locally, which everyone in that show buys something or models something from a local boutique, and all the models are local business leaders, local business owners. And then we have a small army of 40, 50 volunteers to pull this thing off.
Yep.
And I give credit for anyone that walks that stage. It takes a lot of guts to get up there,
right,
and be a model, so to speak, when they're not necessarily models in their own world most days of the week. So it's great to see them get there, and just walk that runway and just have a lot of fun. And like you said, these are all relationships that we've been built over years and years and years. And now we have a waiting list of people that want to get involved in the show, and that's great.
I think it's also great. It shows your community when you've got, obviously the IP is our flagship, has given us so much money, working side by side with the Beau Rivage, who's doing our, model mixer, who's working side by side with the Palace, with George, and what George is doing, and, with the golf carts and everything the Palace does. Yeah. I mean, so you're starting to build people working together, and it's a unique event in that regard.
It's very nonpartisan, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
The banks all come in together, and so it's it takes an army or it takes a village, like they say, and you just got to have one madman behind the scene. Mm-hmm. I tried to stay behind the scene, and I do the best I can, but occasionally I move in Amanda. What can you say? I mean, just off the chart.
Yeah, Amanda stepped up big time. Her and Terry. And the show, listen, it's never perfect.
Right.
We're not fashion show producers. You're a charity guy, I'm a publisher. But when you get enough talented people in a room, we can do just about anything we want to do. And again, that show that can raise $250,000 for one event. I don't know how many more events there are in South Mississippi that can do that in one night.
Right. And I know when we had, what's his name? Ricky, that came from Maceo, came from Vegas and stuff. And he was, so when do we announce all this? And we don't.
Yeah.
I said, that's just it. This isn't the type fashion show. And by the end of the show, he was like, wow.
Yeah.
This really, puts a whole nother spin on how you can do things. He's excited. I've heard nothing but positives about this. And you can always do things better. And we'll try to do things better. But like you said, this is...
It's 95% perfect. It was great. And if you didn't get to show, because we were sold out, if you didn't see it, in November, we'll have an 8-page photo spread featuring every model that was on that stage. And enjoy that and get your tickets earlier next year and get out there. So.
And the models really look forward to that. And, I know we've appreciate what the magazine's done. I said, this thing really took off. Those 2 years in a row where we're on the cover, that elevated in everybody's mindset. And if you think about how far it's come from the early days of a couple tables and people, here and there to, that thing that we put on, I mean, that's a pretty big event for any organization, much less, a staff of a couple. And
it is. And I got to thank my staff. They chip in everywhere they can. They do as much graphics as they can. And they really support Mary and I so we can get involved in these events like this. But it's an honor to be involved. Number one, Todd, with the foundation, and then to see so many businesses come together to pull this incredible show off, and so many local leaders on that stage who just come up to you with a big grin on their face that was so fun. I want to do it again.
Right. And I can remember the first time I went to a boutique, it was with Kim way back in the day, and it was Gatlin's. And of course, Wanda was in there, and I had no idea who she was. And I remember walking over and meeting Dina at White Willow. And, today they're both, and today, I didn't even know guys could go into boutiques. So I was like standing outside. Like, I thought maybe it was just for women and stuff. Now,
And our boutiques are great. They really step up.
They really do.
They go the extra mile. They help dress our models. Then they give them a great discount. If the model really loves their suit or dress they're wearing, they give it to them at a great discount, which is great for our models too. They get a beautiful outfit for a lot less.
All right, we just got about a minute. The last thing I wanted to say was I want to thank Kim personally and professionally for what she did. But then having those kids there, they stole the show. These little kids.
The little models at first, yeah.
Little kids come out, and that's what it's all about. We always try to showcase what we're doing things for, and it really starts planting in your mind that you might have another whole big event here.
Yeah.
That we
During
can
practice, the young models were so nervous, and what do I do? Then they got on stage, the lights are on, and they just hit every mark they wanted to hit. So
we're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to come back. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things you're involved with in the magazine. So don't touch that remote. We're going to be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Of course, joined by Michael Sunderman. And Michael, of course, we're talking about Renaissance Runway, a hot event. But, one of the other things I want to thank you, we've got an office over here. It gives, me an opportunity as I've, want to talk to some of the people over here. We got a professional office that we can go to. Like I said, your staff is jam up. I mean, they're always so professional. I'll be sitting over there. It's got a little activity going on over there.
It is. And Mary and I are blessed, and we're glad to have you in one of our offices. We donate that to you. It's for a good cause. But yeah, I've got a great staff, and they make it possible for Mary and I to get involved in a lot of things. And we get out of the office, and they take care of everything for us.
Well, don't sell yourself short. You also got us to be the keynote speaker at the Hall of Fame banquet in front of all the gaming institutions. What an honor. Again, we try to reciprocate that because we're out in the community doing a lot of things. And, the magazine has become it's amazing. People love to see themselves and to read about other people. And that's, I know from day one, was what you wanted to portray. It wasn't just retail. It went into social issues. We helped put Home of Grace doing things.
Yes.
That's important.
It is important. It was after Katrina when we started the magazine, and everyone was kind of tired of all the bad news and negative news. So Mary and I said, we're gonna give them something to be proud about and be happy about. And so our magazine is just filled with good stories.
Right.
We don't have anything negative in our magazine. Don't want anything negative in our magazine. We have fantastic writers and editors. Our daughter Kelsey's joined us about 7 years ago. She's now editor of all non-gaming publications, doing a fantastic job. But that brand's become so strong, Todd, on this coast. All my salespeople tell me that it's the easiest sale they've ever had. You walk in, you tell them who you're with. Oh, I love that magazine.
Right.
You don't have to explain what we do. People understand what we do. They see it everywhere. We're in 400 or 500 different locations along the coast. Up to 15,000 copies a month we print, and they're all gone. We're about a 97, 98% pickup rate on that magazine. And that magazine kind of lets it all kind of different relationships. Now we do the Coastal Mississippi. We do their tourism guide, Discover Coastal Mississippi. We do Play on the Bay for the Hancock County Tourism. We do Ocean Springs Shopping Guide. We do the Ocean Springs Peter Anderson Festival Guide. We're launching our 11th magazine, Pascagoula Pride, for City of Pascagoula in November. So like we talked about the fashion show, all these relationships just help you build and build and build.
Right.
And then opportunities sometimes just fall in your lap, and you just got to act on them and do it. So But Mayor, I thank our staff because we keep putting more and more on them, it seems like, and they just keep responding very positively.
They do, and again, it is all about the team that you have and assemble around you. And again, I can't thank you enough, and I probably need to thank them more. I think sometimes we just take for granted how all this stuff works, and it doesn't. Now, Michael, I remember when I asked you a few years ago to come on the board. We don't serve on any boards. Well, actually, you do.
Yeah.
So I know you've got involved with the aquarium, and Kurt living next door. I mean, I've watched that aquarium from day one. There's some exciting things going on there.
It is. Since we broke ground, I've been on the advisory board, and we've seen about $100 million invested in that ground now. We just received another $4.5 million from the state to put towards a huge new penguin display. We've got 7 penguins living with us, and they need a home. And we think the penguins will probably be the #1 attractions, maybe more so than the dolphins. So, and we just built a multi-million-dollar expansion to the aquarium. It's got about 25 new displays inside, all in an air-conditioned building. We're doing great. Visitation's up about 20%, which is fantastic. And the community's been very supportive of the aquarium. And again, it's an honor to serve. I have got an amazing board that I serve on there, just like the Baco board. You just scratch your head, you look around the room and say, these are leaders from some of the biggest companies on the coast, and they're donating their time to these boards and donating their knowledge and their generosity to these boards. So it's just an honor to work on these boards and make a change in the community, a positive change in the community.
I like to look at the boards of big organizations, because at some point we've had some relationship with most of those guys on there. And you see people, they're just involved in the community because that's what they do. And those are the people you want on your board. It's not all about money. It's about relationships. It's about knowledge. It's about lifetime of wisdom that you bring to the table. And now, what do we got coming up? Of course, we got the holiday season coming up. We'll have Guide to Giving, just another thing that we've worked together all
the Guide
these years.
to Giving is our December issue every year. This is something you and I talked about. You said, why don't you do something like this? So we started, and now we feature about 100 charities and nonprofits in each for the month of December, in ways that you can give. So maybe instead of buying that second or third Christmas gift for yourself, why don't you just support a charity? Pick a charity in our magazine and send them a check, and they really appreciate it.
I know we're also top secretly talking behind the scene. We're going to do something else in the future here, and maybe bring back a favorite little thing that we did back in the day. And
Terrific Teens, no secret about it.
Yes, no secret about it. We've been on the cover for that one and that was something that again, you're focusing on kids and promotion of kids and how we can make a stronger community. If you do this in everything that you do, everybody becomes closer together. They get to know each other, and the coast, the best days are ahead. I mean,
absolutely,
we're seeing one of the biggest booms I've ever seen. I mean,
absolutely.
This wasn't the way when I came here. I mean, Ocean Springs was a small little town.
Yeah, there's tens of $millions being invested here. But Terrific Teens, what I love about Terrific Teens is we highlight some of these children, young people that you really don't know much about, but that publicity helps them. So they can put that story in a college application, or they can take that story and show it to their boss at work. And it just builds up their self-esteem, and it gives them a chance to raise some scholarship funds that we give out too. So it's excellent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to the future. Now, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, office over here is on
Interplex Parkway.
Okay.
It's in behind I always say FEB, down by FedEx. It's right off of Cowan Road, so off of Seaway. So got about 6,000 feet there. We produce a lot of different magazines out of that building. And
if you thought about a magazine 10 years ago, you got it somewhere. It's just you got to go.
It's in our morgue.
I remember we got that request from Wayne Rodolphus at that time. He wanted a magazine from years ago, and we were able to. We
do keep about 10 hard copies of every magazine we've ever published, but mostly it's all digital now. We'll send a digital link. So.
Well, I know every one I've been in, I put on the wall. So, Michael, appreciate you coming on.
Thanks,
and looking forward to a new year and a more successful year than this past one. So thank you.
Same here. Thanks, Todd.
And we appreciate everybody's support of the Baco Foundation of South Mississippi. Until next time, this is Todd Trenchard saying so long and may God bless.